Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And we are back with our friend, Tima Dajani. She's a Reiki master, healer, teacher, and so much more. Let's welcome Tima to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you, Jill?
Doing great. Fantastic to see you.
Wonderful.
Gorgeous as ever, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
From
You
Toronto,
as well.
Ontario. Thank you. From
Yes.
Canada. But you work with people as a healer all over the world. So why don't you say hello, give us a little bit of your background, and introduce yourself to everyone.
Yeah, so my name is Tima, as I guess everybody knows, and I'm a Reiki master teacher. Been doing this for a while. It's a pleasure every day, as I said, to hear people's stories and to try and help in any way that I can, any small way that I can. So I mean, that's it. Basically, it's just really interesting because you get to hear about so many people's stories, so many situations, so many things that people share with you. It's such a privilege, and I really love it. It's wonderful. It's really a wonderful thing.
You say being your true self is the ultimate gift. And let's point out the website if we can, timadajani.com. That's spelled TIMADAJANI.com, correct?
Correct.
Perfect.
Yes.
Just want to make sure we have your establishments, your contacts, and on social media as well.
It's mostly just the website. I deal through the website. Everybody can reach me on it, and that's how I roll.
Beautiful. Well, let's talk a little bit about yourself. What brought you here into the field of Reiki? Some people may not even know what Reiki is. Could you share a little bit?
Well, Reiki is universal life energy. It's a beautiful healing energy. It's an energy of love. And honestly, most of Reiki practitioners, if you look at them, you're like, wow, they look so good. They look glowing. They look, young. They look fantastic because it brings so much positive energy into your life, which is so nice on a daily basis. I came into it in my early 20s. I would say I was going through a pretty bad time, feeling depressed, as a lot of us do, right? It's kind of a transitional time in your life.
Yeah.
Didn't know where I was going, feeling terrible. And then I met this amazing woman, who was a Reiki master, and she taught me Reiki and told me so many beautiful things about, Reiki and life and how to go forward with it. And I love it. And I've never looked back, to be honest. It's been amazing. It's been truly amazing.
Wow. And what are some of the benefits, and how could you help some of our viewers and listeners today?
Well, I mean,
a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, really, Reiki covers everything. So, is it going to help me, ease my nerves, like for the job interview, for the exam that's coming up, for, anything really? Yes, it is. It will honestly help you. Is it going to help me over a rough patch in my marriage? Yeah, probably it will. I'm not saying it's going to solve everything, but it might help things move a little bit nicer and a little bit more smoothly than it would otherwise. With children, with pets, health issues, end of life, transitioning. I mean, on and on and on. Honestly, there's nothing that I can think of that Reiki would not be beneficial to or help in some way or another.
Beautiful. So what did you want to share with everyone today about you and about the services that you can offer with Reiki? I mean, since there is so much to it, I want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, I always say, you're going to go to the person who's going to help you the most. So that may be me, that may not be me, right? Because you have to go to a person who you resonate with and who you have the right energy and synergy with. So some people may come to me and, they talk to me and then maybe it doesn't work out for one reason or another. And I'm always open to that. I'm like, you know what? I'm not better than any other Reiki practitioner. If it doesn't work with me, you're not feeling the energy, that's fine. Move on and find somebody who's really going to be able to help you. And the people that I can truly help who really need Tima energy, they come to me. So that's awesome because then I can help them in the best way that I can. And they're going to benefit because that's what they truly need. They need me to help them through the rough patch or through whatever they're going through. So I would say, if you're going through something and, you need a little bit of extra love and care, look up a Reiki practitioner, a local Reiki practitioner, or somebody online who resonates with you. You can probably find somebody who could offer you a lot of help. So, I get calls every day. People tell me I'm going to have surgery in 3-4 days. Could you send me Reiki, please, to help me get through it and to heal better? Sure. And I do it, and that's great. Or they tell me I'm gonna, I have this life-changing something that's happening in a few days. Could you send me Reiki? And I do. So it helps. It always helps. So I've never had an instance where somebody will call me and be like, well, like nothing happened. It didn't work. What was going on? It's always like, wow, like I could feel it. It worked. It was great. Thank you so much. And they felt better and things worked out for them. So I guess that's a nice thing.
That is a great thing. So you clearly love what you do. You have a passion for what you do. Would you mind sharing a little bit more about yourself? Although I know already, but some people may not.
Yeah. Well, in terms of what about myself? What would you like to hear?
Well, about why you're into this field and what brought you here.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, it was something, I just wasn't going through a good time, and Reiki really put me into a better place. And I was so appreciative, and I wanted to do that for other people, I wanted people to be able to, the thing is, the great thing about life, honestly, this is something I always tell people and that I've learned, nothing ever stays the same. Nothing good, nothing bad. So if you're stuck in a bad situation, don't worry about it too much. It will get better. You will get out of it one way or another. Things will work out somehow. They will, right?
Yeah. See?
But by the same token, if you're in a good situation, don't assume that that's going to last forever either. Yeah. So you have to kind of balance. So I always say nothing stays the same. Work with what you have. Be optimistic, and always take it from there. And I think that if you have good intentions and a lot of optimism and good energy, it can take you really, really far. Definitely.
Now, those of us, the holidays are coming up, maybe stuck in a little bit of a rut. It's a hard time sometimes. The anxiety, the depression, around the holidays. Some people love the holidays. Some people it's overwhelming. And then having to get into your family dynamic, and sometimes that could be stressful. So just thinking in terms of the holidays, it's coming up here. We have Thanksgiving coming up in the States. I know you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, right? But
we do. We've already had Thanksgiving.
It's a different time.
We celebrate in October.
Perfect. So that's coming up for us, which is right around the corner. Then we have Christmas, we have Hanukkah, we have the New Year. It's a lot on people. So I mean, even just being with your family could drive me nuts. And some people
for sure
nuts.
Yeah.
But you want to, you got to see your aunt, you got to see your cousin, and maybe something's not right. Always you get this family like dynamic that could be a little off and make you feel a little off. It makes me anxious. Could you help someone kind of relax during that time? Any advice for us during that time? What should we do?
Well, I would say, take a deep breath before you go in, and kind of, I talk a lot about shielding. So shielding yourself and kind of protecting yourself from energy. That really, really helps. And there are a lot of online resources that really help with that. So shielding is phenomenal, because literally what you're doing is you are still interacting with the person or the people that, irritate the crap out of you. But you're not letting it affect you. So you're still able to be polite. You're still able to be nice. But because you put this kind of shield around you, it doesn't bother you as much. And also, I really think you should just, the holidays are very stressful for a lot of people. I know for a lot of reasons, financial stress, because, you got to buy all the gifts. You want to do the decorations. You want to take your kids to shows. You want to do this. You want to do that. There's a lot of financial stress around the holidays and family stress. And I get that. So a lot of people do come to me in this season. The lights changing, we're changing over into winter, which is not the happiest time of year. A lot of people come to me at this time and they're like, we really need a lot of Reiki. Can you send us Reiki to help us through this period? And I do, and it is needed. I'm not going to lie to you, Jill. Yeah, it is a tough time of year. It's a tough time of year. And I would say, honestly, best thing is maybe get some Reiki if you can, if it's available to you. Do some shielding exercises if you can. They're available online on YouTube, anywhere. You can get some really good shielding exercises. And also just take a step back and kind of, don't let things get under your skin so much. It's easier said than done, I know. But sometimes just taking that step back does really help with family irritations.
And walk us
So,
through the process of how it does work. What can we expect on the other side, whether we're doing it live Zoom or on the phone, whether we're in person? What can the person who's new to Reiki expect on the other end?
well, Reiki is energy. So basically, if I'm doing it hands-on, you're going to be coming in for a session. Typically, the person will lie down, and it's called hands-on healing. But actually, there's no need to actually have hands physically on the person if they're not comfortable with that. You can kind of you can kind of do it hovering a little bit,
Yep.
So there's no intrusion on personal space. And what they'll feel is a warmth, a tingling. They'll feel, sort of kind of a nice energy coursing through them. And typically, I've had this happen a few times. I've had people who've started to laugh hysterically when I start giving them the Reiki. Yeah. So they'll just laugh so much.
Nervous energy, or what is that?
I don't know. I think it's a kind of release. So you're giving them the energy, and all this energy is coming through them, and maybe they don't really know how to deal with it because they've never experienced it before. So they'll start laughing, and then tears will start running down their face. And then, of course, it's contagious. So I start laughing, and it turns into a joyful moment. It is quite nice. At the same time, you have people who cry, people who just I put my hands on them and they literally just burst into tears and they can't stop crying. And that's fine too. That's also a release, right? So either way, it's a reaction to the energy, which is great, because I think you're getting out, because the good energy is coming in, and the bad energy, or the energy that's not benefiting you, as opposed to calling it bad, is actually probably leaving your body. And you would feel the same with distance energy. So distance healing, you would feel a tingling, you would feel a warmth, you would feel an improvement in your mood. Things like that. I mean, those are the tangible results, I would say, of a Reiki healing. But if we're talking about healing on a more spiritual level, you're actually benefiting in terms of better health, better mood, better blood flow, better circulation, better everything, better energy flow. So really, it's there are lots of benefits. A lot of people don't understand distance healing. They say it's very hard for us to understand. How can you possibly reach us when you're sitting in front of a camera in your house and we're sitting here? I'm like, well, I can. I said it's one of the mysteries of life, but I can reach you. Also, it depends on the recipient. So
do you have to be willing? Do you have to be willing? Do you have to?
Yeah. I mean,
not that you would force anything on them, but they're contacting you to work with them. But clearly, they also need to be open to the concept for it to kind of.
They need to be open to the concept. And some people, they contact me, but they're not open, and I can tell that. I know when they're open or not, because I can tell how the energy is being received. I can kind of gauge how well it's going. It's flowing or not flowing. And so a lot of times I'll tell people, I say, I don't think you're ready, because I've been sending you all this energy. You're not really benefiting the way that you should. I think that you're kind of resisting it mentally. They kind of laugh most of the time. They're like, how do you know?
How do you know? I could just sense it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, well, I can tell. And some people, they receive the energy and it's just incredible. They're like sponges. They'll just take in all the energy and they'll benefit from it so immensely. And these are the people who are really ready to receive the healing.
Now, is this draining to you at all? How does that affect
you?
Not at
all. Okay. Not at all. It's actually nice for me, because I end up feeling more energized. So the more energy I send, the more I feel energized, which is fantastic. So
now, does anybody help you? Can you send yourself Reiki? How does that work?
I send myself a lot of Reiki, but I don't send it to myself. I actually give myself Reiki.
Give it. Okay.
I'm right here. I don't need to send it to myself. Yeah.
Got it.
So I'm right here. So, I'll put my hands on my solar plexus. I'll put my hands on my head if I have a headache. I do a lot of self-healing during the day. Also, because I think I've spoken before about being an empath. So when you're an empath, what happens is that basically you just suck people's energy, right? So you'll be, you'll suck their negativity, their positivity, their sadness, their happiness. You'll take it all in. And it's draining sometimes.
Yeah,
that's
you do have to release it.
That's difficult. That's difficult. I would say that's more difficult than giving the Reiki energy.
Got it.
Just the energy that the feelings that you get that aren't yours. So you have to kind of do a clearing at the end of the day and say, you know what, this sadness that's in me is not mine. I need to get rid of it. I hope that the person who had it initially will also get rid of it and just move on from there.
Great. And I know you offer a free, is it a 15-minute conversation?
Half
to
hour.
See if you're a good fit. Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So initial consultation, you have questions, reach out. Could you give us your phone number or website, all the above?
Yeah, sure. The website is timadajani.com. So that's TIMADAJANI.com. And all the information is there. And I, check as soon as somebody messages me, it pops up on my phone and on my, in my email, and I can contact them directly. So yeah, that's the best way to reach me. And like I said, I'm always happy to speak to people, and, it's fine. Even if they don't want to work with me long-term, I'm happy to hear their story and give whatever advice I can and, take it from there. So, don't be shy, reach out.
Well, it's good that, I find that, the Western medicine compared to Eastern medicine, these healing modalities, we're a little more open and I think more integrative in our approach, in a sense, to try to help people in so many different ways. Because, years ago, my mom was diagnosed with lung cancer. So unfortunately, she passed away, but we knew it was a serious lung cancer. But when you have hospitals based out of New York City, like Columbia Presbyterian, I don't know if you're familiar with any of these, Sloan Kettering, and these big hospitals that are world renowned, and they're offering Reiki services right on their website. And I never knew what it was. And I'm like, what is this? I'm like, Mom, we didn't know what it was. We were trying to figure out what chemo was or immunotherapy and how we're going to try to treat her, to give her a little more life and what to do. But then I saw, that's how I first discovered Reiki. And I was like, what is this? I never knew. Now going forward, talking to people like yourself to say, this is what's happening. People are using this to help heal pain, to help make you feel better. Like, people with chronic pain, whether you're going through chemo, whether you're going through, you have a fibromyalgia, you have a serious, any type of health condition, that it can really make you feel so much better. Could you explain that?
Because it can
really,
it
amazing.
Can. It's Reiki is amazing for people with chronic pain and also for end of life transitioning, because it's sometimes, well, not sometimes, always, cancer or or chronic pain or some kind of condition that's gonna eventually lead to your death is first of all traumatizing, because what's going to happen to you. It's not like it's an accident and it just happens out of the blue, right? So you're kind of thinking about it a lot. So a lot of the people that I see who are suffering from terminal cancer or a terminal condition, a lot of the work is dealing with their emotions regarding the concept of death and how they deal with that. And it's a lot for a lot of people,
Yeah.
So and a lot of people don't have a great support system. So, because maybe, their relationships with their children or their spouse or their whatever is a little bit fractured. So they don't have that support system or that ability to speak with the people around them regarding how they feel. So I find that just having somebody there, somebody like me. So if I go in, I'm not only giving you the Reiki, I'm also open and receptive to you, to whoever it is, talking about how they're feeling, what they're going through. And I want them to talk about what they're feeling and what they're going through, because I feel that through that, they will actually have a much easier transition at the end, plus the pain relief, which is a big, big bonus, right? So I've worked with a lot of terminal patients, and it's never easy. It's never easy. There was a time when I did only that, I would say, for a few years.
Okay.
But it became a lot, because you get attached to people, you lose them. It's hard. It's really, really hard. So I moved on into working with some other people as well, some other but that
also says a lot about you, how compassionate you are. Because after I lost my mom, I said, we have hospice. And I said, wow, I said, these people come and they help you at the end of life. And my mom only got to work with someone in hospice for a week, and I was with her full time as well. But still, to give yourself that way, to be so open to, in the end, it's got to be so hard. I don't know, you don't know, we don't know, but to be there for someone is a beautiful thing. And I always said, I wish I could just be with people in the end. I wish I didn't have, well, I love my children, my family, my job, but one day when I have more free time, I would love to just help people just by giving them a guiding hand to hold, someone to talk to. Not everybody has someone in the end like that. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not everybody has somebody at the end of their life necessarily, or at least somebody that they feel comfortable talking with, or So I think just having that is wonderful, and I really admire people who just work in that kind of a situation, which is really emotionally draining. On a day-to-day basis, because it's a lot. It's a lot, like I said, because now I work a lot with pregnant women, for example, and babies, and I love
tell
that.
Tell me about that side of the work.
So, a lot of women have challenging pregnancies too, right? So they need some love and support during their pregnancy. So I recently had a lady who was going through a really tough pregnancy, and she kept on messaging me saying, I need some Reiki, I need some support. And I would send it to her, and we weren't seeing each other face to face. It was all virtual at that point because it was in the middle of COVID. And one day I was sitting there and I got a message like for her. I was like, it just said, call her and tell her to go to the hospital immediately. Like there's something that's off, because I was connected to her energy.
Wow.
So I called her up and I said, I need you to go to the hospital right now. And we have a really trusting relationship.
Yeah.
She trusts my gut feeling, she trusts my advice. She went, and the doctors told her, they said, if you hadn't showed up, they said you and the baby would have died. They said, because you were so dehydrated. You had gotten to a point where you were not doing well. They're like, we're so grateful that you actually came in. And I don't know, I was just told to
And
call
was she
her.
Feeling okay? Did she say she felt fine? Like, really? You want me to go to the hospital?
She didn't feel fine. She was feeling off, but she didn't know. She didn't know what was happening with her. So I was like, go. So she actually told her husband, she's like, oh, Tima says I gotta go. Let's go. So she went, and thankfully she's actually had the baby now, and everything is great. Everything is fine. And I love these kind of happy endings, beautiful stories. It makes me happy to be able to help. I love helping women in particular. I feel that, we go through so much in our lifetime, just, childbirth and, all of the and pregnancy and all the roster of female problems that we all have at one point or another. Now, it's just so wonderful.
Did you say you were giving Reiki to babies too? Explain that.
To babies. Yes.
Oh,
wow. Yes. So babies in the womb who may be experiencing some problems, or babies after birth. And babies are like, they're kind of like when I give Reiki to pets, it's the most beautiful thing, because they just have such beautiful, innocent energy that, the Reiki just goes in and you just feel it like move around so beautifully and so smoothly. And it's a beautiful thing. I love babies and pets and all of these very innocent creatures. They're so wonderful to work with.
Oh, now as far as animals, what type of animals can accept Reiki? Do you have to be Could that be virtual? Can you do for the animal virtual?
Yeah, for sure.
You ever had like a pet iguana? Oh, I don't have a pet iguana. I have a cat, but
and cats in particular love Reiki. I can tell you, because the minute I start sending any kind of Reiki out, my cat comes zooming into the room that I'm in, and can't get enough of me. He's like rubbing himself on me, and like purring and just loving the energy. I feel that cats in particular are very receptive to Reiki. They love it. So yeah, animals, I mean, they again, they're such beautiful, innocent creatures, really. So they just take it in. And you can send Reiki to animals who have cancer, animals who have behavioral issues, who have eating issues, skin conditions, on and on and on. Whatever you think, the problem with your pet is, Reiki can definitely help. I've used it with my pets. I mean, extensively. I got a dog who had severe behavioral issues. I mean, severe. He was biting me, and I was, yeah. I was black and blue everywhere. And now he's honestly like the sweetest thing you could ever find. So it works.
Wow. So everyone, Reiki works. There's many benefits to it, obviously, as we're learning here from Tima today. And she can work with you one-on-one, virtually, in person. Where are you based out of again, in Ontario? Toronto. Perfect. Yeah. And, but clearly the virtual Reiki does its job and it does work. Some people out there, though, I'm sure you run into skeptics saying, I don't understand it. How does it work? What would you say to someone who, I would say, try it.
I would say, you know what? I understand your skepticism because it's, it's like anything else, right? We live in a very practical world, where kind of, 1 + 2 should equal 3. And it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But if you try it, it will start to make sense to you. That's all I can say. So I always say, give Reiki a chance, try. See where it takes you. And if you're open and you're receptive and you're ready to it, it will make a big difference in your life. Reiki can change lives. I can tell you that Reiki can change lives. And do you want to share another story or two of other people you've helped? Sure. So, there was a story once about a boy who had, he kind of semi-drowned. So he was brain dead for the longest time, for around 12 years, I think. And, he was a patient of my Reiki master. So I used to go with her sometimes to heal, to give him healing. She used to go religiously once a week to this boy, give him the Reiki treatment. But can you believe it? He was 12 years in a prone position on a hospital bed. He never once got a bed sore, not even once, like not even a hint of a bed sore, because we gave him so much Reiki over the years that it was incredible. It was incredible. He was in perfect condition. He didn't move. He was prone, never, like nothing, not even one bed sore. And the doctors couldn't believe it. They had never seen anything like it, because normally if you're lying down, you get bed sores, you get a whole host of problems. So it works. It really does work. But as with anything else, you have to see it to believe it, I think. And you have to, and also, everybody has their own set of beliefs, right? So you have spiritual beliefs, you have religious beliefs. Everybody has their way of looking at the world. The nice thing about Reiki is that it doesn't really interfere with any of your religious beliefs, or any of, so you can be a Muslim, a Jew, a Christian, a Buddhist, whatever it is that you are, and you can still do Reiki, because it does not involve any type of religion or any type of, nothing to do with that. So, try it. I would say try it.
And how can we reach out to you?
That's all I can say. Yeah.
Tima Dajani, the website, TimaDajani.com. Is it the best form? Do you want to leave a phone number as well?
That's good. The website is great.
Perfect. Well, Tima, thank you for being here today. Thank you to our listeners and our viewers. And I hope they reach out, and thank you for doing what you're doing. By the way, how many pets do you have?
I have 3 pets, 2 dogs and a cat.
I haven't seen any of them in the background. Is that your home office?
No, they're not in here.
Are they?
They'd be jumping all over me, ruining the podcast.
I was waiting. Oh, well, I'm in my home office today too. So I have a cat. So I was wondering if she would appear because she could feel your energy, but not yet. Maybe she's sleeping.
Not yet. Maybe next time. We'll see.
All right. Well, have a great day, hon. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
You too.
And to all of our listeners, the same. Stay tuned. More of the show is on the way.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.